see him. Having a dinner, that's a good idea because he wants to come out after you've had stayed through. But anyway, by the way, this Sunday morning, if your mom's interested, I'm actually bringing a whole group of Beth David students to Newbridge. Really? Yeah, because we decided not to have regular classes these Easter Sundays. So
Right.
I don't know if that's
What are you doing there?
Yeah, I'm bringing about 20 students. I'm working with the staff there, so we're doing a whole Passover activity. I think it was advertised, so.
Cool. I will remind you because I'm
It's,
going
I
there.
believe it's at 10 in the morning.
Going there on my way back after the service.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should start, I think, because yeah. And
I did decide to do Don't Leave Me on the Counter.
oh, sure. Okay. But yeah, we can just start saying. I'll give you a reintroduction.
Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameach, everyone. We're going to start with, it's called the Shabbat Shalom Nigun, and technically it's not a Nigun because it has 3 words, Shabbat, Shalom, U'Mevorach. And it goes like this. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. Let's do that together. Ready? Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Now it goes down. U'Mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach. And on page 10, let's continue with Hine Ma Tov. How good and how pleasant it is that we can be together. Hine Ma Tov U'Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Chag Sameach. It is good to be together on this Shabbat that also falls during the holiday of Passover. I hope if you've already had your Seders that they were joyful and meaningful, and perhaps you're continuing to celebrate throughout this week of Passover. So tonight we're going to be weaving in a few Passover themes as well to our service. Welcome to those joining us on live stream as we enter enter into this special time of Shabbat. So speaking of Passover, we're just going to stay on pages 10 and 11. On the top of page 11, we add words from Song of Songs, biblical love poetry that is especially read during the holiday of Passover. And you'll see the words, "My beloved is mine and I am my beloved's." We'll sing those words in Hebrew. And I should also just welcome back cantoral soloist Lisa Marcus Jones, who has been joining us on occasion on Shabbat this year. And Lisa brings her talents on guitar, on piano, with voice. And as always, we hope you'll add your voices along with us.
Absolutely. Anytime that I am singing, let's all sing together. Totally
Those words are recited during Passover because they call to mind springtime and flowers, and also drawing toward one another in love as we gather around the Seder table. We're going to turn back now to pages 2 and 3, and it is truly an honor to invite Zelena Rausch to bless our Shabbat candles this evening. Thank you for bringing your whole family with you, and I don't know if your daughter Anne wants to join. I'll leave it up to you. But again, whoever would like to. As I said, Passover is all about families.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
Okay. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner להדליק נר של שבת.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. That was so beautiful.
And we'll continue as we welcome in Shabbat with the Psalms on page 13, as Passover is our holiday of renewal and renewing hope. We'll sing Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, sing unto God a new song. Again, you can find the Hebrew on page 13. You can also find some English on page 344. Continue to welcome in the Shabbat Bride with Lecha Dodi on page 20, verses 1 to 5 and 9. A special melody that Lisa is going to teach us this evening. And on the last verse of Lecha Dodi, if you're able, and I'll invite you to rise and face the doors as we bring in Shabbat.
So this melody is very simple, and I hope that we can get everybody singing. It goes like this. I da 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 lecha dodi. Ready? Let's do that together. I da 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 lecha dodi. And then I da 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 likrat kala. Ready? I da 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 likrat kala. Same melody, different words here. I da 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 pnei Shabbat. I da 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 nikabela. Let's try it for real. I da 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 lecha dodi. I da 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 likrat kala. I da 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 pnei Shabbat. I da 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 nikabela. Shemor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem ultifet v'lithilah. I da 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 lecha dodi. I da 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 likrat kala. I da 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 b'nei Shabbat. I da 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 nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha. Hi mekol habracha. Merosh mikedem nisucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava. Tehila, I da 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 lecha dodi. I da 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 likrat kala. I da 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 b'nei Shabbat. Nekabela, verse 5. Itori, Kiva ohe umirori, ui shidaveri, Yevod Adonai elayich nigla, ay lechadoti, ay ligrat kala, ay b'nei Shabbat, ay nikabela. Shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha uvtzola, tochem munei am sibula, Adoti, ligrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela.
And we'll remain standing as we move into the main part of our service, page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach irutei, v'yamlich avotei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, uv'ayedechol beit Yisrael, Shemei Rabbah mevorach, ve'olam ve'almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar v'yirama v'yitnaseh, v'yitadai, yitamed, v'yitamal, Shemed Kursham Riru Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata Tushmechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'yimu Amen.
Page 28, we join in our call to prayer.
Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice?
la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Let's join together in our blessing for creation on the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. We'll continue on page 32 as we sing of God's love for us, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Akem Adonai Eloheinu v'shochmenu ufkumenu hasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratacha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam ki hem chayenu Be'orach yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu Amin. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Avad. Please be seated. We'll continue in the Hebrew on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzvavecha על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. And let's join together on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. This message of slavery and freedom is all the more felt on this Shabbat during Passover, these ancient words of redemption. And perhaps this Passover you join with many other Jews at the Seder table, leaving an empty chair for Evan Gershkovich, the American journalist who was recently arrested in Russia, and he's the son of Jewish Soviet immigrants. As we sing Mi Chamocha tonight, we especially pray for those still in bondage as we celebrate our own freedom. And we'll sing Mi Chamocha to a special Passover melody, page 40.
We're going to sing it to the melody of Adir Hu, and so please join in as you feel able. Mi chamocha elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilo, osefela. Malchutecha, Ravanea, Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam, Ze Elianu ve'ameru, Adonai Imro le'olam va'ed. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
We turn now to page 42 for our prayer for bringing on a peaceful evening. May God's shelter of peace be spread around us.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim ufros alenu Baruch atah Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We'll join in our prayer that celebrates the weekly gift of Shabbat on page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We're going to enter now into our central prayer, the tefillah. If you're able, we rise. And we'll begin with some opening meditative words, page 46, and then enter into the Hebrew.
Open up my mouth, open up my mouth, so that I may declare your glory. Open up my mouth, open up my mouth, so that I may declare your glory. Adonai, sifatai tiftach ufirgi tehilatecha. Adonai, sifatai tiftach ufirgi tehilatecha. Tehillatcha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Chaste Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geola livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. And we switched to the summer edition during Passover. Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Lachmemit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. I invite you to continue silently and note there is a Passover edition on page 56, and we'll continue silently adding the prayers from our hearts as well. Please feel free to be seated when you are ready. We'll come back together on page 60, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim בטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
That melody brings me back to my childhood growing up in synagogue. We're going to turn our thoughts now to health and healing. You can find our Misha Berach prayer on page 253. We take this moment to especially think of loved ones who are ill at this time as we pray for them and pray for those who care for them. Colin Monroe, Enrico Mascaro, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Mateo Goldman, Toby Weiner, Esya Rushavskaya, Eileen Arnone, Jean Sands, Tom Fiorino, Carolyn Weil, Stephen Driscoll, Jerry Spingarn, Beth Gottlieb, Kirby Druffel, Joseph Sands, Samantha Weiner, Ethel Sharanow, Rhea Rebecca, Sam Valeka, Peter Lawrence, Sarah Bat David Veyosefia, Bob Holman, Mark Albion, Nancy, daughter of Pauline, Herb Kupferschmidt, and Linda Asher. If there are other names that you are thinking of, you may share them with us.
Greenfield, David Goldman, Allie Hopkins. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leivotenu Be the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We wish them refuah shlema. One of my favorite parts of Jewish tradition is how we continue to evolve and interpret rituals that are thousands of years old in light of our own times. We especially see this Jewish practice with the holiday of Passover. I'm wondering if any of you maybe have a ritual that you have evolved or maybe even added at your own Passover Seder. This is an open question, by the way. Any unique or interesting practices at your Seder? I'm going to repeat it just for those on the live stream. So the practice of a reader's theater, of acting out the Passover story rather than reading the words in the Haggadah. Wonderful way to adapt. Anyone else have any unique or interesting additions? Orange juice instead of wine. Why? Yes, there's variations of the story of the orange, yes. So she puts orange juice. That I've never heard before. We put an orange on our Seder plate. Interesting. Anyone else? So this was a first for me, celebrating Passover in Albuquerque with Rabbi Micah's family. They put green chili in the matzah ball. It was a surprise. Well, for all of these things that we do, we are in good company in Jewish tradition. If you think about it, the Torah doesn't actually say very much about how we should observe the Passover holiday. Basically, in the book of Exodus, all we are told is to eat matzah, a reminder of the flat, unleavened bread that our ancestors baked quickly when leaving Egypt, that we should tell our children how we were slaves, and that we should observe the festival for 7 days and not work. There's nothing in the Torah about a Seder, karpas, maror, charoset, 4 cups of wine, 4 children, or the afikomen. Most of how we celebrate Passover today, holding a Seder, reading the text of the Haggadah, actually comes from the Talmud. The tractate about the laws and customs of Passover is one of the longest volumes of the Talmud. It is thought that the rabbis of the Talmud put so much time into shaping the Passover ritual because already back then, the Jewish community had lapsed in its observance of the holiday and had forgotten the taste of slavery. A few weeks ago during our Temple's Talmud class, we learned a surprising lesson about Passover. We were studying blessings, different blessings that we recite over food. And we learned that the same blessing is said over bread and matzah, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We'll say it at the end of our service over matzah tonight. But the rabbis made an important distinction. When reciting motzi over regular bread or challah, they said that ideally you should have a whole loaf, or minimally a whole slice, not just a piece of bread. But when you recite the blessing over matzah, you're supposed to have a broken piece to remind us that this is the bread of affliction, to remind us of our broken spirits when we were slaves. Thus, the ritual of breaking the middle matzah evolved, as we can see, much later than the time of the Torah. According to the Talmud, matzah should look and taste like matzah. It should not be overly embellished, which is probably a far cry from the yummy matzah brie with maple syrup that my family enjoyed for breakfast this morning. The rabbis of the Talmud fully recognize that Passover is both about remembering our affliction as well as celebrating our freedom in every generation. Thus, they created the Seder to tell the story in a joyful way, and our Haggadah opens that we begin with degradation and end with praise. They knew that the Seder had to be especially engaging, especially for children. And as Rabbi Micah reminded us last week, more than half the Seder, and especially the second half, focuses on praise and hope and joy. There is one song that appears right in the middle of the Seder that especially bridges these varied experiences and story of our people's journey. The song appears just after the recitation of the 10 plagues, and the song appears just before other psalms of praise and the meal. Some might say that this song encapsulates the entire Seder, and if you want to shorten the Seder, you could even just sing this song, even though I'm not recommending that. In other words, if you only sang Dayenu, that would be enough. The song Dayenu, it would not be Passover without it. Speaking of evolving ritual, Dayenu does not appear in the Bible and it does not appear in the Talmud. It first appeared in a medieval Haggadah based on a 9th century prayer book. The song is reminiscent of the Bible's first song in Exodus, the Song of the Sea. While most of us do not do more than 2 or 3 verses of Dayenu, the song actually contains 15 verses of praise and gratitude. In case you don't know all of them, I'm going to share them with you now. So Dayenu begins with a question, and you can see this in any Haggadah. How many degrees or steps of goodness has God bestowed upon us? And Dayenu answers in 15 ways. God brought us out of Egypt, executed judgment against the Egyptians, smote their gods, slew their firstborn, gave us their wealth, split the sea, led us through the sea on dry land, sank our foes in it, sustained us in the desert for 40 years, fed us with manna, gave us Shabbat, brought us to Mount Sinai, gave us the Torah, brought us to Israel, and built the temple. As you can see, the first 5 involve freeing us from slavery. The next describes the miracles that God did for us. And the last 5 describe the subsequent covenant and closeness that we had with God. Dayenu represents both our physical and spiritual freedom. And each stanza is followed by Dayenu. If God had only done one of these acts, it would have been enough blessing. At first, Dayenu does seem kind of a strange poem. Would it really have been enough if God had only taken us out of Egypt, but not allowed us to cross the Red Sea? Would it have really been enough to arrive at Mount Sinai, but to not receive the Torah? So we are left wondering, what makes each of these acts of divine favor so significant and important that even if this was all that God had done for us, Dayenu? Contemporary Rabbi Lisa Goldstein teaches that there are many steps and stages in the process of liberation, that the work is never done. Each step of Dayenu serves to break down the enormity and abstraction of leaving Egypt into smaller components, each one miraculous so that we might fall on our knees before the whole in gratitude and awe. Dayenu is the ultimate Jewish attitude of gratitude, seeing our glass as half full, even when it may not have felt that way. Saying thank you is one of the fundamental messages of Passover, and of course, every day. Saying thank you and recognizing our blessings is an antidote to affliction and complaint. As we continuously evolve our rituals and traditions, I will leave you with one modern-day Dayenu and a question. This Dayenu was written during the pandemic by Rabbi Naomi Levy. She wrote, "Let those who are ill find healing, Dayenu. Let our worries be calmed, Dayenu. Let the weak and vulnerable be protected, Dayenu. Let all healers find paths to bring healing, Dayenu. Let scientists grasp a higher knowing that will lead to a cure, Dayenu. Let there be an end to this plague, God, Dayenu. Fill our hearts with hope and our souls with faith, our bodies with health and our homes with love. Unite our world to bring on a day of freedom. Let the seeds of rebirth take root tonight and grow in blessings in your light. Dayenu, enough, God. Amen." And the question, as many have continued to write their own Dayenu, what are you thankful for this Passover season? Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. If you'd like to share your answer during the ONEG, you are most welcome to. Again, thank you so much to Zelena Rausch and Seth Cohen for sponsoring our ONEG tonight in memory of your mother, Zelena, Muriel Rausch, and bringing your spirited family here to celebrate with us. Thank you, Howie and Peggy Allen, for greeting us and ushering us in. Thank you, Tim, for being on our live stream, as always. And again, thank you to cantoral soloist Lisa Marcus Jones for leading us in music tonight. We still have some more singing to go. You'll probably guess what our concluding song is going to be, but we're going to wait till then. And Lisa will be back with our community in June. For now, so first of all, you can continue to celebrate Shabbat tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We are having a community Shabbat and Passover service here in our sanctuary led by me and Rabbi Micah. We're going to have Torah reading and a special Song of Songs study through music. So we're going to be singing a little bit more than Dodi Lee and adding some special Passover prayers to our service as well, followed by a Passover Oneg. And you can look at your weekly shofar email for other programs and study opportunities and services coming up this week. For now, we're going to move into our concluding prayers for this Shabbat. You can find Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 282. And we rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגאלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We remain standing as we turn now to page 291. Especially during our holidays, our loved ones are with us as we remember their lives. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We are especially remembering these members of our temple family who have passed away in recent weeks for the period of Shloshim. Melvin Baylett, brother of Sandy Grassfield and brother-in-law of Harvey Grassfield. Roseanne Pechter Cohen, mother of Debbie Spingarn, mother-in-law of Jerry Spingarn, and grandmother of Hannah and Caroline. And Bernard Margolis, uncle of David and Debbie Wayne, great-uncle of Sam. We are remembering these loved ones whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occur this week in Shabbat. Rose Davidson, Dottie Eisner, Jose Fontova, Ellen Gordet, Stephanie Gorovoy, Linda Gervitz, Milton Horvitz, Ruth Hurwitz, Gladys Kaufman, Rose Kayette, Jules Leventhal, Pauline Margolis, Charlotte Martin, Mayor Peril, Harrison B. Siegel, Morris Stone, Jacob Tanofsky. If there are others you are remembering, you may share their names with our community. And we continue on page 294 with Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brihu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. Before we conclude with our special Passover song, we're going to turn now to page 5 for Kiddush, and as you can see underneath our cover is a very flat matzah tonight, symbolizing that bread of affliction. Eloheinu melech
Haolam, Borei Peri Hagafen, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hichilanu, Zikaron lemaseh bereshit, ki hu yom echila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta v'otanu Kidashta Mikomim V'Shabbat Kodshecha Be'ava uvratzon Hinchatanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Shabbat.
L'chaim. All right. Same blessing, different taste. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Do you want any? Yes. Oh, all right. I'll have a bite for all of us.
I'll fill that mitzvah when I get home.
Do you want to just unmedayinu? Sure. We don't have the words, but you at least know one word, Dayenu. We're going to conclude on that theme again, reflecting on each of our blessings.
Let's do it there. There we go. Die, die, nu, die, die, nu, die, die, nu, die, nu, die, nu, die, nu, die, die, nu, die, die, nu, die, die, nu, die, nu, dayenu. Ilu hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, hotzianu mi Mitzrayim dayenu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et ha-Shabbat, natan lanu et ha-Shabbat dayenu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et ha-Torah, natan lanu et ha-Torah dayenu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach, everyone. We'll do the other 12 verses tomorrow morning. I didn't